Admiral Vex Thrawn had ruled the hegemony's outer rim for 3 centuries, his iron grip extending across 47 star systems. His battle fleets were legend, his tactical prowess unmatched among the galaxy's dominant species. Yet as he stared at the tactical display showing his decimated Third Fleet, one thought consumed him. How had a forgotten human colony just shattered his most elite force? The colony of New Defiance had been lost to Imperial records for over 200 years. A clerical error during the Great Expansion had left it unmarked on official star charts, a tiny speck of humanity clinging to existence on the galaxy's edge. When Vex Thrawn's scouts finally rediscovered it 3 months ago, he'd laughed. 12 million humans on a backwater world, armed with what his intelligence suggested were primitive kinetic weapons and outdated fusion reactors. It should have been a simple conquest, a footnote in his glorious campaign. Commander Sarah Chen stood in the makeshift command center carved into New Defiance's primary asteroid mine, watching the retreat of what had once been the most feared fleet in the sector. Around her, colonists who'd been farmers and miners just hours before were stripping weapons from disabled hegemony vessels. Her grandfather's warning echoed in her mind. Never underestimate humans when they're cornered, little star. We don't fight fair. We fight to win. The first phase of Vex Thrawn's assault had gone exactly as planned. His dreadnoughts had emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation, energy shields shimmering with contained power. The humans' orbital platforms had opened fire immediately. Crude railguns and missile clusters that barely scratched his ship's armor. His tactical officers had smirked as they prepared the plasma bombardment arrays. This would be over within the hour. Then the asteroids started moving. What Vex Thrawn's scouts had dismissed as a modest mining operation was actually humanity's greatest strength turned into a weapon. For 2 centuries, the colonists had been hollowing out asteroids, not just for resources, but for living space. They'd built an entire civilization inside the rocks, connected by tunnels that stretched for thousands of kilometers. But more importantly, they'd installed fusion drives in every significant asteroid in the belt. The hegemony fleet suddenly found itself surrounded by a swarm of weaponized planetoids, each one accelerating to devastating velocities. The humans had turned their entire star system into a kinetic kill vehicle. Impact in 30 seconds, Chen announced calmly as a 20-kilometer-wide asteroid, its surface studded with improvised mass drivers, bore down on the hegemony flagship. Vex Thrawn's crew fired everything they had: plasma cannons, particle beams, quantum torpedoes. But momentum was a harsh mistress. The laws of physics cared nothing for alien technology. The flagship's shields failed catastrophically. The asteroid's improvised weapons fired at point-blank range, punching holes through armor that had withstood the firepower of entire fleets. Emergency alarms shrieked as atmosphere vented into space, and Vex Thrawn realized with growing horror that the humans weren't just random miners. They were engineers, machinists, and problem solvers who'd had 200 years to prepare for exactly this scenario. But the asteroid bombardment was only the beginning. As his ships struggled to regroup, small human vessels emerged from hidden bases throughout the system. They looked primitive: welded hull plates, exposed engine components, weapons that appeared to be improvised from mining equipment. Vex Thrawn's tactical computer dismissed them as negligible threats. The computer was catastrophically wrong. Each human ship fought with a reckless creativity that defied military doctrine. They used their mining charges as proximity mines, turning industrial equipment into weapons of war. Their small size let them dart between the massive hegemony vessels, targeting joints and weapon mounts with surgical precision. Most disturbing of all, they seemed completely unbothered by the concept of mutually assured destruction. "Sir," Chen's communication officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the hegemony flagship." On the main screen, Vex Thran's scaled features appeared. His usual composure cracked. "I am Admiral Vex Thran of the Hegemony Third Fleet. I offer terms of—" "No terms," Chen interrupted, her voice carrying across the comm channel with cold finality. "You came to our home to murder our families. You came expecting easy prey. You found humans instead." Vexathron's eyes widened as he saw the tactical display behind her. Dozens more asteroids were moving into attack position, and long-range sensors showed human reinforcements arriving from the outer system, ships that had been disguised as empty ore haulers but were now revealing hidden weapon systems. "This is impossible," he whispered. "You're a lost colony. You have no fleet, no military." "We have something better," Chen replied. "We have necessity, Admiral, and humans with necessity don't lose. We adapt, we improvise, and we overcome. Your empire forgot about us, but we never forgot what empires do to free people. The final phase of the battle was less a military engagement than a demonstration. Every piece of debris, every disabled ship, every scrap of metal in the system became a weapon in human hands. They turned Vex Thran's own disabled vessels against him, using hegemony technology to breach hegemony defenses. They showed him what 2 centuries of isolation had taught them, that survival wasn't about having the best weapons, but about using everything available as a weapon. As the remnants of his fleet limped toward the edge of the system, Vex Thran sent one final transmission. "This isn't over, humans. The Empire will return." Chen's response followed him into hyperspace. "Let them come. We'll be ready." In the aftermath, as New Defiance began the long work of rebuilding, Chen looked out at the asteroid belt that had become their fortress. The colony that the galaxy had forgotten had just reminded everyone of a fundamental truth. Humans didn't need permission to fight back. They just needed a reason, and protecting home was reason enough.